morning, everyone. Today we have gathered here to discuss about the proceedings of the Parliament. Isn't it interesting? Let me tell you. Today we will have a mock Parliament session to make you familiar about the procedures and proceedings of the Parliament. As a common citizen, it is almost impractical and equally important to know and observe everything that happens in the Parliament of our nation. So, to give you a basic structure about the Parliament, today here I am Gashita
And I am Ravi.
with our team.
Parliament is the legislative body of government. Generally, a modern parliament has three functions: representing the electorate, making laws, and overseeing the government by hearings and inquiries. The term is similar to the idea of Senate, Synod, or Congress that are used in current or former monarchies. Indian Parliament is a bicameral parliament that constitutes the President and two houses known as the Council of States, Rajya Sabha, and the House of Peoples, Lok Sabha.
The Parliament House of India is located in New Delhi. It was designed by Edmund Lutyens and Herbert Baker, who were made responsible for the planning and construction of New Delhi by the British government. The hall is 21 meters tall, 170 meters in diameter, and covers an area of 2.29 hectares. The construction of the building took 6 years and the opening ceremony was performed on 18th of January 1927 by the Viceroy and Governor General of India, Lord Irwin. The construction of the building took rupees 8.3 billion. The central hall of the building is circular in shape and has a dome of 30 meters in diameter. The central hall was originally used as a library, but nowadays it is used for conducting the joint meetings of both the houses and the address of the president during the amendment of the first session. A new parliament is under construction to replace the existing complex. The present building, an 85 years old structure, suffers from inadequacy of space and structural issues. The existing parliament is replaced by the new parliament that is to be made in a budget of rupees 9.3 billion.
Now we will talk about the parts of the parliament. The President of India is the head of the state of Republic of India. He is the nominal executive of India, first citizen of country, as well as Commander-in-Chief of Indian Armed Forces. Currently, Draupadi Murmu is the 15th President, having taken office from 25th of July 2022. The President is indirectly elected by an electoral college comprising both the houses and legislative assemblies of states and union territories. Presidents exercise different types of powers. All the administrative decisions are taken in President's name. She can summon, prorogue, and address two houses of parliament. A bill becomes a law after the consent of President. She can dissolve Lok Sabha before its expiry term. The annual budget is presented in President's name. President can also appoint the judges of Supreme Court and High Court, including their Chief Justices. Now, Rajya Sabha is the upper house of the parliament. The maximum strength of Rajya Sabha is 250. Out of these, 238 members are elected from states and union territories, and 12 members are nominated by the President. For a person to be a member of Rajya Sabha, she must be a citizen of India, a voter, and not less than 30 years of age. Rajya Sabha is a permanent house, which can never be dissolved. After every 2 years, 1/3 of its members retire, and hence the term of each member is 6 years. The Vice President of India is the ex-officio chairman of Rajya Sabha.
On the other hand, Lok Sabha, constitutionally the House of the People, is the lower house of the Indian bicameral parliament. The maximum strength of the Lok Sabha shall not exceed 552 members. Out of these, 530 members are elected from different states, 20 from union territories, and 2 members are nominated by the President from the Anglo-Indian community. The members of the Lok Sabha are directly elected by the people. The normal term of Lok Sabha is of 5 years. However, the President of India can also dissolve it earlier, but only on the recommendation of the Prime Minister. The term of the Lok Sabha can also be extended for a period that the Speaker is elected from the majority party and the Deputy Speaker is elected from the opposition party. Currently, Shri Om Birla Ji is the Honorable Speaker of the Lok Sabha.
The Parliament also exercises different judicial, executive, legislative and financial powers. It is the highest lawmaking body. It also controls executive by asking questions during the question hour. Money bills are introduced in Lok Sabha. The annual budget of government is passed by the Parliament. Parliament, on approval of both the houses, can amend the constitution. Parliament can remove the president and judges of Supreme Court and High Court.
As lawmaking is one of the major functions of the Prime Minister as well as the Parliament, so let me tell you how a law is made. The lawmaking procedure is initiated by proposing a bill in either of the two houses. The approval of both the houses is important for passing a bill. In case of disagreement, a majority vote is taken in the joint meeting of both the houses. Once the bill is passed by both the houses of the Parliament, the bill is sent to the President for his or her consent. And once the consent is given, a bill becomes a law. However, the money bills can only be introduced in Lok Sabha. Rajya Sabha can only hold it for 14 days or can make recommendations in such kind of bill.
Now, to ensure that union and state governments have a definite jurisdiction, the makers of our constitution enumerated and divided the subjects on which laws can be made into three lists: union list, state list, and concurrent list. All the 98 subjects mentioned in the union list are of national importance. The Parliament has the exclusive power to legislate on them. Some of the subjects mentioned in union list are defense, currency, foreign affairs, and many more. Parliament can also legislate on the 52 subjects mentioned in the concurrent list. The subjects mentioned in the concurrent list are forest, education, etc.
The period during which the House meets to conduct its business are called sessions. The President of India summons each session at such intervals that there should not be a gap of more than 6 months. So, the Indian Parliament has 3 sessions each year, which are as follows. The first one is the budget session. It is held from February to May. During this, the members discuss the matters related to money and taxation. The second one is the monsoon session. It is after a break of 2 months after the budget session. The members discuss about the matters related to public interest. And third and the last is the winter session. It is held from November to December and some topics are discussed which could not be considered earlier by the members.
Today we will only discuss about the question hour of the Parliament. Question hour is the first hour of sitting session of the Parliament that is devoted to questions that the members of Parliament raise about any aspect of administrative activity. The concerned minister is obliged to answer to the Parliament either orally or in writing, depending on the type of questions raised. Questions are one of the ways through which Parliament can hold the executive accountable. Now, Dishuta, I think that we have gone through all the basic information about Parliament, so we should move on to next level of our presentation, that is, mock session of Parliament.
Honorable members, Honorable Speaker, sir. Question round start. Question number 1 related to national education policy. Please.
With the permission of Honorable Speaker, sir.
You are permitted.
Honorable Speaker, sir. In last 24 years, there has been no change in education policy, but the government changed it in 2020. But this change is not much effective, if every time had many new methods which the teachers and students are unable to understand properly. So my question to Honorable Education Minister is what actually is the new curriculum in this new education policy and when was this policy actually implemented? Thank you.
The Honorable Education Minister, please.
With With the permission of Honorable Speaker, sir,
You are permitted.
the NEP 2020 is the first education policy of the 21st century and replaces the 34-year-old national policy on education NPE 1986. Built on the foundational pillars of access, equity, quality, affordability, and accountability, this policy is aligned to the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and aims to transform India into a vibrant knowledge society and global knowledge superpower by making both school and college education on holistic, flexible, multidisciplinary, suited to 21st education needs and aimed at bringing out the unique capabilities of each student. And in 2020 emphasizes on ensuring universal access to school education at all levels preschool to 10th. About 2 crore out of school children will be brought back into mainstream under NEP 2020. This emphasizes on early childhood care and education. The 10 plus 2 structure of school curricula is to be replaced by a 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 curricular structure corresponding to age 3 to 8, 8 to 11, 11 to 14, and 14 to 18 years, respectively. NEP 2020 aims to increase the growth enrollment ratio in higher education, including vocational education, from 26.3% 2018 to 50% by 2035. 3.5 new seats will be added to higher education institutions, a new and comprehensive national curriculum framework for teacher education. NCFTE 2021 will be formulated by the NCTF in consultation with NCRT by 2030. The minimum degree qualification for teaching will be a 4-year integrated B.Ed degree. Stringent action will be taken against substandard standalone teacher education institution TEIS.
Silence.
Speaker, sir.
You are permitted.
With the format 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 adopted by the central government in the new education policy will force the children to join school at the age of 3 years. My another question to the Honorable Education Minister is that is it right for children to join the school at the mere age of 3 years, and will it not affect their health?
The Honorable Education Minister, please.
With the permission of Honorable Speaker, sir,
You are permitted.
the new schooling system only brings 3-year kindergarten classes or preschool under the Formal Education Act and will now cover ages 3 to 18. It looks at organizing the total school education or preschool level. There is more assist, affordability, accountability, and universalization, all with better quality education. As per the education system followed in urban settings, children first join preschool and then move to school, where they carry out 2 years of kindergarten classes, KG classes, followed by 12 years of school classes. This changed from the 10 plus 2 to the 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 system with a more seamless and inclusive transition from the preschool ages right to the highest classes. As per the new school education system, children will spend 5 years in the foundational age, 3 years in the preparatory stage, 3 years in the middle stage, and 4 years in the secondary stage. Here is age-wise and class-wise breakdown of 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 curriculum and structure of new education policy 2020. 3 years in the Anganwadi from age group 3 to 6 years. Early childhood care and education from the age 3 is also included, which will surely help in better learning, development, and overall help in promoting better learning. IDLE consists of flexible, multi-level, multifaceted, activity-based, inquiry-based learning concepts, which comprise of alphabet, languages, puzzles, logical thinking, and play-based activities. It also includes a focus on developing social capacity, sensitivity, good behavior, courtesy, and public cleanliness. The major aim of ECC is to attain dominance of physical and moral development and cognitive development. Thank you.
Silence. Question number 2 related to plastic ban. Please,
With the permission of Honorable Speaker, sir.
you are permitted.
Will the Honorable Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change will please to say that the Centre had issued the notification last year in August announcing a ban on 19 single-use plastic items effective from July 2022. So they had banned these items, but it is not working properly and India still generates 25,940 tons of plastic waste per day. As of August this year, India is the largest producer of plastic waste among all the countries and has generated 1,29,94,000 tons of plastic. Delhi generates 689 tons of plastic, the highest among India's metropolitan cities. Plastic is a non-biodegradable material which negatively affects the fertility of soil. It affects the health of animals. We have witnessed that a lot of plastic is taken out from the body of stray animals when they are operated. In our country, earlier there were not any rules regarding plastic ban. But nowadays, government banned the plastic. But despite plastic is banned in our country, people are still using plastic products. Now, I want to ask a question to the Honorable Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change that is the ban on 19 single-use plastic items working in India? Don't you think that the government should accept more strategies related to plastic ban? What steps the government has taken in this regard? Please indicate. Thank you.
Silence. Honorable Minister, please,
With the permission of Honorable Speaker, sir,
you are permitted.
as the question is the ban on single-use plastic items in India working, the actions taken by the government against plastic bags. The Plastic Waste Management Amendment Bill 2021 also prohibits manufacture, importing, storing, distribution, sale and use of plastic carry bags having thickness less than 75 microns. From 13 September 2021 and having thickness less than thickness of 120 microns is effect. The government will stop the plastic pollution.
Silence. First, make the minister complete his answer.
Against plastic pollution is by investing in recycling infrastructure and leveraging education. All the steps that taken by the government to minimize the amount of plastic used like from bans, taxes and various single-use plastic to investment in waste collection and policies on reducing packaging to these cleanups. We are trying to break the addiction to stop plastic and contribute to healthier lives and healthy planet. The steps that Indian government has taken to reduce the plastic pollution. Due to implementation of the Pragati integration, India will adopt an absolute prohibition on single-use plastic items such as earphones with straps, plastic flags, glasses, silverware, and other single-use plastic items starting from 1st July. Thank you.
Silence.
Honorable Speaker, sir, I am not satisfied with the answer that the Honorable Minister gave. Still, after the ban on plastics, many people are using plastics. As about 64% of people are using utensils and food applications, and 46% of people are using disposable cups, trays, containers, etc. One of the biggest obstacles to implementation on plastics is lack of political will. Every few years, particularly before elections, politicians leave the gathering with such announcements about banning of plastics. But after election, the nominees were that they are not interested in implementing. So now I want to ask the question from Honorable Minister that why have laws to completely ban plastic failed in India?
Honorable Minister, please,
With the permission of Honorable Speaker, sir.
you are permitted.
Respected Minister of Opposition Party, the nationwide ban on single-use plastic products that started from 1 July comes on the heels of two long decade efforts. The first attempt was made in 1999 with a ban on thin polythene bags. Since then, three national and union state laws have been enacted to phase out single-use plastic products. While every ban has been more stringent than the previous one, the result in last 23 years, we are unable to eliminate single-use plastic products, including the thin polythene bags.
Silence.
The reason is the poor enforcement, and there are fundamental technical and socio-economic reasons. The simple reason plastic bags don't work is that they are not backed by some regulatory seriousness. Once the government announces a ban, it is the responsibility of federally empowered agencies like CBCD and state pollution control bodies to enforce it. The biggest issues are the lack of enforcement and unavailability of viable alternatives to plastic. There are many countries worldwide who have implemented plastic bag bans, many of which have experienced challenges. Thank you.
Silence. Parliament also the complete silence. Question number 3 related to the health department. Please.
Honorable Speaker Sir, with the Honorable Minister of Health and Family Welfare is pleased to say that a second wave of COVID-19 is beginning in March 2021 was much more devastating than the first. With the shortage of vaccines, hospital beds, oxygen cylinders and other medical supplies in a part of the country. By late April, India led to world in new and active cases in a 24-hour period. Experts stated that the viruses may reach an endemic stage in India rather than completely disappearing late August 2021. Soumya Swaminathan said India may be in some stage of endemicity where the country learns to live with the viruses by 23 December 2021. India had 78,190 active cases. Many people were dead in case of COVID-19. Many families lost their family members. About 54.7 lakh people were dead in COVID-19. So, with the permission of Honorable Speaker Sir, I want to ask that
You are committed.
what are arrangements had done by the government in time period of COVID-19?
The Honorable Minister, please.
With the permission of Honorable Speaker Sir,
You are permitted.
I want to say that in case of COVID-19, our government arranged all the arrangements which they can do. They provide 7 lakh hospital beds, 7,500 metric tons of oxygen per day, 2.04 billion of vaccination.
Silence.
Our country has the top rank in the world for the vaccination free of cost. Even USA, America, like developed countries, did not approach this rank. They provide some guidelines like cover your face with clean mask, wash your hands with soap and water, or use sanitizer, maintain at least 1 meter distance, and many more. Thank you.
Silence.
I am not satisfied with this statement. So I have some other questions to the Minister of Health and Family Welfare. With the permission of Honorable Speaker, sir.
Yes, you can.
In COVID-19 cases, 54.7 lakh people were dead during this period. So I want to ask the question to the Honorable Minister of Health and Family Welfare that will the monkeypox spread like COVID-19 in India?
The Honorable Minister of Healthcare, please.
With the permission of Honorable Speaker Sir,
You are permitted.
doctors were of the view that monkeypox will not be as transmissible as coronavirus, and thus chances of outbreak were limited. This year, that monkeypox will not spread like wildfire as we feared from coronavirus. This virus will not spread like wildfire as we feared from coronavirus. This virus requires large droplets to cause infection and health. It is not much transmissible. People can catch this virus when in close contact with another infected human and animal. The researchers who have sequenced that monkeypox virus from recent cases have noted several mutations, but it may take some time to understand this role of these changes. Still, many experts believe that monkeypox can be contained. Transmission is really happening from close to close contact, skin to skin contact. So it is quite different from coronavirus in that sense. Over the decades, researchers who have sequenced that monkeypox virus would concluded that the Several mutations have taken place, but there is still more to take in the trenches of evolution. Experts believe that the disease can be contained as it is mostly sporadic due to the incidence of close human contact. Unlike COVID, that is yet no such mutations or variations have been found that are deemed highly severely fatal. Therefore, people must take all due precautions to shield themselves against the virus if it is not that deadly as corona.
During the COVID-19 period, government has introduced many guidelines regarding many COVID-19 cases of COVID-19 that killed almost 54.7 lakh people were dead during this period. So I want to question to the Honorable Minister of Health and Family Welfare that the strategies adopted by the government regarding monkeypox is similar to the strategies they had adopted during COVID-19 period.
The Honorable Minister, please.
With the permission of Honorable Speaker, sir,
You are permitted.
our government has introduced some strategies or guidelines. First, avoid close or skin-to-skin contact with someone who has a rash or lesion that looks like monkeypox. Second, do not touch, rash, or even scratch of a person infected with monkeypox. Third, avoid any kind of physical contact like hugging, like someone with monkeypox-like symptoms. Fourth, avoid contact with person, material of person infected with monkeypox, such as towels, clothes, etc. Fifth, do not share food utensils, cups, etc. with the person infected with monkeypox. Sixth, wash your hands with soap and water or use hand sanitizer before eating or touching your face or eyes.
Silence. Parliament offers the complete silence.
The government has made the vaccine of COVID-19 after a long period of time. So I want to ask a question from the Minister of Health and Family Welfare that the vaccine of monkeypox will come in India.
The Honorable Minister of Welfare, please.
With the permission of Honorable Speaker, sir.
You are permitted.
According to information of Indian Council of Medical Research, there is no specific vaccine against monkeypox, but a smallpox vaccine was shown to be productive and protective against monkeypox in past. As the disease comes from the same family of smallpox and orthopox virus, it is said that the vaccine used for smallpox can be potentially administered for the monkeypox as well. USA has registered about 2,880 cases in past and currently is using two smallpox vaccines called Genos was approved in 2019 for the people 18 and above. According to WHO, vaccination against smallpox was demonstrated through several observational studies to be about 85% effective in preventing monkeypox. Thus, prior smallpox vaccination may result in milder illness. Thank you.
Question number 4 related to Agniveer. The Honorable Member, please.
With the permission of Honorable Speaker, sir,
You are permitted.
today I, Ritika, feel highly privileged to dedicate my views in Against the Ocean launching of Agniveer scheme. The scheme will not include long tenure, pensions or other benefits that existed in the old regimental system. Individuals appearing to join armed force were disappointed with the new rules. The main cause of concern were the short length of service, no pension provisions and other benefits that existed in the old regimental system. Many of the current aspirants were rendered ineligible to serve in the Indian Armed Force under these rules. And before the introduction of new schemes for recruitment, Indian government did not produce any white papers. The scheme was neither debated in Parliament nor in the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Defence. No information was about the scheme given to public prior before its announcement. Now, I would like to ask questions to the Honorable Minister of Defence. First of all, what's the need of Agniveer scheme and why government introduced it? Whether Agniveer will be given 90-day leave in a year like regular soldiers, whether tax will be deducted from the money earned by soldiers during service, and at the end of tenure, whether they be given gratuity and would get facilitated by the military canteen and medical facilities available to ex-service persons. Thank you.
Honorable Defense Minister, please.
With the permission of Honorable Speaker, sir,
You are permitted.
the Union Cabinet of India approved one of the attractive schemes for Indian youth through that they can join the Indian Armed Forces. The name of this scheme is Agnipath and select candidate is known as Agniveer. Due to India's long hilly borders in the northern part of the country, a large number of young security forces are required for a better equipped and more prepared military. The need for scheme Agnipath was felt after the 1962 war with China. One of the main reasons for starting Agnipath scheme is to lower the median age of our security personnel. The same was also highlighted by the as India has mountainous border for China and Pakistan, forces with a lower age profile will perform in better such areas. In the era of technology, nature of warfare is also becoming increasingly multi-domain, developing in different aspects of warfare. Within the advanced technological infusion in the defense, forces need to come up with a future ready fighting force. Agniveer will be provided with hardship allowance, uniform allowance, canteen and medical facilities as a regular Air Force soldier gets. Agniveer will also get travel allowance, leave available in a year, along with medical leave available separately. However, it will be depend on the medical checkup. Every Agniveer will get 30,000 month salary in the first year of recruitment. Agniveer's salary will increase 33,000 in second year and 40,000 in third year, in fourth year. However, 30 to 30% will be deducted every time for the retirement package from their salary. Example, 30,000 rupees are to be received in first year, but out of this only 21,000 will be given. Remaining 30% like 9,000 rupees will be deposited in Agniveer Seva Nidhi Fund. The government will also put some around 9,000 in this fund. After 4 years, rupees 5.02 lakhs would have been deposited by Agniveer Service Fund and rupees 5.02 lakhs by government. That is the event of being relieved of duty after 4 years of service. We will get a service fund package of rupees 10.04 lakhs. Thank you.
With the permission of Honorable Speaker, sir,
You are permitted.
while the center does not address the significant problem of unemployment, is the government not responsible for the violence and anarchy caused due to unemployment?
With the permission of Honorable Speaker, sir,
You are permitted.
government is trying to provide employment to the unemployed. Also, one more reason to start Agnipath scheme is to provide employment to more youth of the country. According to Indian Air Force record, Agniveer recruitment 2022
Silence for page
on
examination.
July 5,
Sir.
2022, IAF received 7.5 lakh applicants under Agnipath recruitment scheme. As per IAF, this is the largest number of applicants received in any recruitment cycle. This process of registration started on June 20, 2022. The online registration process conducted by IAF towards Agnipath recruitment scheme has been completed. Compared to 6,31,528 applicants in past, which was highest in any recruitment cycle, this time 7,49,899 applicants have been received. Along with IAF, other armed forces, Indian Army and Navy have also received applicants with ample amount. Thank you.
I am not satisfied with the answer, so I would like to ask more questions. There is no clarity on how the regimental system, which is the backbone of the army, will not intervene, and will the future of Agniveer security in the scheme be insecure? 21 years are less mature. They don't trust me.
Your Honorable Minister, please.
With the permission of Honorable Speaker, sir,
Yes.
there will be no change in the regimental system of army. Rather, this system will be standard as best Agniveer will be selected and sent to different units. And if there are regiments, then there will be regiments of artillery, electrical or mechanical engineers. And the future of Agniveer will be fully secured in the scheme. Agniveer who want to do business after 4 years will be given benefit of an economic package and bank loan scheme for listeners. Similarly, those studying will be given 12-star certificates and will be given the facility of bridge course for further studies, as well as job-seeking youth will be given priority in the recruitment of central security forces, including state police. The strength of most armies in the world depends on young soldiers. Under the present scheme, it will never happen that the number of new youths exceeds the experienced ones. Even after a long period of recruitment, the ratio will be 50-50% in the army. That is half young and half experienced people. Thank you.
Silence. Question number 5 related to the broad-based network, please.
With the permission of Honorable Speaker, sir,
You are permitted.
I would like to draw attention to a report which says that India has the highest number of road crash and injuries. It has 58 road accidents every year, and which leads to the death of one person every 4 minutes on average. India's road network of 58.98 lakh kilometers per hour. It is the second largest in the world. What is the transport management doing here? Rather than the case of accidents, roads are also unmanned. Just because of some heavy rain, these roads got destroyed. According to the official data of National Highway Authority of India, estimate the average cost of building 4-lane highway to be 8 to 9 crore per kilometer. Where is the money invested by the government? The road has been using on road, but still just because of some rain, these roads got destroyed. Heavy rain has returned to city roads, which is becoming more dangerous, especially two-wheelers. Because of unmaintained system, people get injured. My questions are, what is the Indian government doing here? What is the planning of the road construction in India?
The Honorable Minister, please.
Respected Honorable Speaker, sir, with your permission,
You are permitted.
as per the Honorable Speaker, member of opposition party, you said our system is unmanaged, which is totally wrong. India has the second largest road network in the world, which is spanning a total 5.84 million of kilometers. This road network transports a 64.5% of all goods in the country, and the 90% of Indian total passenger traffic use the road network to commute. The road transportation has gradually increases over a year to improve the country's road network as well as the villages, country, etc. One of the most common cause of the road accident is undisturbed driving, and due to the carelessness of the person. The government has launched a mobile app for the national highways, that is Sugandhyatra 1033, which is enabled for highway user when road accidents happen in national highways. Road Safety Week is observed every calendar year for spreading awareness about the safety behavior of road users on national highways. The ministry has commissioned a group of ministers, that state transport minister, examining the best practices of transport and suggest the issues to improve the road safety based on the recommendation of the group of ministers. The Ministry of Road Transport and Highway are primarily responsible for development and maintenance of national highways as the proactive sectors of the country. Both the public and private investment to expand and update the road network, especially that the national highways, which has been increases a formal length 7,993 kilometers as per the data of 2010 and 11, and 1,14,158 kilometers as per the data of 2017. Some of the increasing roads. The length of road of national highways India 1,51,000 as per the share of 2% in India. The state highways are with increasing length total 1,86,528, the 3% share in the currently in India. The district roads are being 6,32,154, which will share the 10%. As per your answer, the total expenditure of the Ministry of Road Transport and Highway 2021 and 22 being estimated rupees 1,18,121 are these. The annual increase is 21% all over the actual expenditure of 2019 and 20. When I oppose here, we are just wasting money and there is no result. These are the various causes of destruction. I want to explain it briefly. Point 1. Unmaintained drainage system. Drains running parallel to major roads have been neglected over many years by the civic body officials, says residents. Encroachment along the channels and frequent logging caused due to soil waste dumped into the drains was cited as the main reason behind the current situation in cities. Even when there is no rain, I have seen water flushing out of manholes causing inconvenience to commuters and damage to the street. Point 2. Construction with inferior quality material. The roads constructed in inferior quality material when affected by rainwater or moisture. Rainwater weaken the pavement and following vehicles during the main destructive. You are using the roads on the road, but still they got destroyed because of some rain. There are millions of people suffering from it. Where is the money used? What is the Indian government doing here?
The Honorable Minister, please.
Honorable Speaker, sir, with your permission.
You are permitted.
Our mission focuses on development of basic urban infrastructure in sewage and septic management in the mission cities, with the expected outcome of substantial improvement in coverage and treatment capacities of sewage. Substantial coverage of sewage and septic management is a priority sector under the mission. At the inception of AMRUT, the sewage coverage was 31%. By the end of the mission, it aims to cover 52% households. Sewage and septic sector projects include centralized network underground sewage system, sewage treatment plants, rehabilitation of old sewage systems, treatment plants, recycling and reuse of water for beneficial purposes. Projects related to facial sludge management, mechanical and biological cleaning of sewers are also eligible for funding. Against the total planned size of rupees 77,000 crore of all the state annual action plan, rupees 32,000 crore has been allocated to sewage and septic management.
Silence. Permit the Minister to complete his answer.
We are working on a scheme to raise funds from the poor and ordinary persons for road projects. We will raise funds at 6% annual interest rate, which is higher than what banks provide. This will benefit the public as they will get a fixed return. The government is constructing Jodhpur tunnel below Kargil and the work is in progress. This tunnel is to be completed in 3.5 years. About 1,000 laborers are working in -8 degree temperature inside the tunnel. The cost of the tunnel in the tender was projected at 11,000 crore. The government made special effort to bring down the cost by 5,000 crore. After this government came into power, the government reviewed 406 toll road projects worth rupees 3.85 lakh crore and restarted them. The restarting of these projects saved banks from the non-performing assets of about rupees 3 lakh crore. The speed of road construction has increased to 38 km per day and it will increase to 45 km per day by the end of the year. Delhi to Chandigarh will take 2.5 hours, Delhi to Amritsar 4 hours, and you will be able to do Delhi to Mumbai in 12 hours. By 2024, I guarantee that roads in India will be like those in United States. You see the development that has happened in your respective constituencies. I am saying this on record in the parliament. What I said will happen. Thank you.
Question number 6 related to the agriculture bill, please.
With the permission of Honorable Speaker of the Lok Sabha,
You are permitted.
I wish to draw the attention of the government to the nationwide outrage regarding the Agriculture Bill 2020. On September 2020, Prime Minister referred to the bill as a watershed movement in the history of Indian agriculture and stated the bills will ensure a complete transformation of agriculture sector and empower tens of millions of farmers. But he is misguiding the common people. The former chief economist of the World Bank called the new farm bills are flawed and detrimental to the farmer. Many agrarian states like Punjab, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, Kerala, Delhi, and West Bengal passed a resolution against the farm reform seeking their withdrawal. The Punjab Assembly passed another resolution against the Central Farm Laws in the beginning of March 2021. The acts have faced protests from farmers in various parts of India alleging that will hurt their earnings. The main reason for opposition is the uncertainty regarding the implementation of the reform. Several farmers' outfits announced an intensified agitation against the act and called for a Bharat Bandh. This was supported by as many as 10 sector trade unions, 18 political parties, and more than 250 farmer organizations. I want to ask the Agriculture Minister here that when this agriculture bill is being opposed from place to place, then what is the right thing to bring such a bill and what are its benefits?
Silence. The Honorable Minister, please.
Respected Honorable Speaker, sir, with your permission,
You are permitted.
I think that Shri has justified the agriculture bill in wrong manner. The agriculture bill are very good for the farmer and also for the country. The agriculture bills are Farmer Produce Trades and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Act 2020. Expand the scope of trade area of farmers.
Silence.
Produce from select area to any place of production, collection and aggregation. Allow electronic trading and e-commerce of scheduled produce farmer. Prohibit state government from any market fee less on farmer produce trades and electronic trading platform for the trade of farmer produce conducted in and outside trade area. Farmer Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Service Act 2020. Provide a legal framework for farmer to enter into pre-arranged contracts with buyers, including mention of freezing. Defines a dispute resolution mechanism. Executive Commitment Amendment Act 2020. Remove foodstuff as such as pulses, potatoes, onion, edible oil seeds and oil from the list of
Silence.
removing stock-holding limit on agricultural items producing by horticulture techniques. Except under extraordinary circumstances. Require that imposition of any stock limit on agriculture produced only occur if there is a side price rise.
With the permission of Honorable Speaker, sir,
You are permitted.
I want to ask the Honorable Agriculture Minister that how is MSP calculated and what if the price falls?
The Honorable Minister, please.
With the permission of the Honorable Speaker, I want to answer the question asked by Mr. Ayubi. The Commission for Agriculture Cost and Prices (CCAP) determines how much minimum spot price of a crop. The government decides the MSP only on the recommendation of the CCAP. If the bumper yields of the crop falls, its price falls. Then MSP acts as a fixed assurance price for the farmers. In a way, it is like an insurance policy to protect farmers when the price falls. Currently, 22 crops are being procured under MSP. These 22 crops include paddy, wheat, moong, maize, groundnut, soybean, cotton, etc. Any questions? Thank you.
Question number 7 related to GST. Please.
With the permission of Honorable Speaker, sir,
You are permitted.
I want to mention the most important fact that central government is unable to manage the country's economy for the last 8 years. With the members of government is responsible for present day situation?
As per the record, the country has double-digit inflation for the last 14 years, which is highest in the past 30 years. The consumer food price index is skyrocketing, which is disturbing the common man's house budget. GST has been increased on items of daily use like rice, curd, paneer, and the government had not spared even children by applying GST on pencils, sharpeners, etc. Even the central government applied 18% GST on crematoriums. GST created by government has destroyed the five pillars of economy, that is saving, investment, production, employment, and by implementing policies like demonetization. After demonetization, the government brought GST, which hit at least 2.30 lakh small scale industries. Government has collected nearly about 57 lakh crores through increased taxes, tax, excise duty, and in petroleum sector. The government is just filling their treasures but has not distributed the advantages to general public. The price of petrol increased 39 times in 2021-22 and 76 times in 2020-21. Every morning you went to petrol pump, there was increase of 50 paise or 75 paise or 1 rupee. It has made the life of common man miserable. Now I want Ministry of Finance to answer my question that will GST create employment? What is the benefit of increasing GST and why government is increasing it? Thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Finance, please.
With the permission of Honorable Speaker, sir.
You are permitted.
Yes, GST creates employment. GST has increased the jobs in the formal sector such as automobiles, logistics, commerce, and cement. E-commerce and logistics have created a maximum jobs due to more demand, while the cement industry is expected to create jobs due to high profitability rate. The passage of GST will see the growth in the job market and the single tax system will play a vital role. The field suggested that there will be 11 to 18% of additional jobs per year in the above sectors. GST increases every year just to support public spending, health department and education. It increases to raise government revenue, streamline rates and reduce disparities and to make up for inefficiency in the value of tea. There's a benefit to increase the GST that Indian GST rate is the highest in the world. 28% introduced by India is the highest more than 140 countries across the world. Creation of a unified common market, increase in manufacturing processes, enhancement of exports and investment. And the main benefit of the GST is to bring uniformity in the taxation process and allow centralized registration.
With your permission,
You are permitted.
I am not satisfied with the answer of Ministry of Finance. With some of the facts, I want to get my answers from the Ministry of Finance. GST scheme has increased the cost of operation. With GST in places, businesses have to update their books and accounting with the latest GST compliance software, which is very costly. And as government has came out with a new GST policy, as mentioned by Yashica, customers will have to pay a new 5% GST on pre-packed labeled food items like atta, paneer and curd, which make the life more difficult. 5% GST when we live on the new ICU hospital room rent above rupees 5,000 per day. Hotel rooms with telephone up to rupees 1,000 per day. Maps and charts including addresses will get expensive and attract a 12% GST rate. 18% GST when we live on the no tetract tax on fees charged by banks for the issue of checks. Solar water heaters will be costlier with GST rate increase from 5% to 12% GST rate. Work contracts for roads, bridges, railways, etc. will see taxes going up to 18%
from 12% GST. Now I want to ask some questions to the Ministry of Finance. How has GST made the life more easy of Indians? And how has GST helped in the development of India and Indian economy? Thank you.
Silence. The Honorable Minister of Finance, please.
With the permission of Honorable Speaker, sir,
Yes, you are permitted.
government revenue increased after the implementation of GST. Some sectors like auto commercial vehicles, consumer goods, footwear, cigarettes, building materials and logistics may grow due to the reduction of tax on different items under GST. We all know that GST play a vital role in Indian economy. Collection of the GST in April is 1,67,540 crore rupees. In May, it is of 1,40,885 crore rupees. In June, it is of rupees 1,44,660 crore rupees. In July, it is for rupees 1,48,996 crore rupees. We also know that taxes are the primary source of revenue for most governments. This money is spent to improve and maintain public infrastructure, including the roads we travel on and fund public services, such as schools, emergency services, and welfare programs. Thank you.
Question number 8 related to Chinese app.
Respected Honorable Speaker, sir, with your permission.
You are permitted.
Today, I am feel highly privileged to reinforce my views on against the motion banning of Chinese apps. Worldwide, if we check, there are 5.25 million apps, out of which 3.14 million are Android, while 2.09 million are iOS. A recent report reveals that India has been the world's fastest growing app market over the past few years, and Chinese apps have established their dominance in India. One of the major reasons is that more than 300 million people in India use smartphones. Reports suggest that the top Chinese apps in India are being used by millions of Indians. Indians are using 1,60,082 apps. However, there has been a slowdown ever since the government started banning the use of certain applications made in China. Here is the list of apps which got banned on 14th Feb 2022. Greena Free Fire Illuminate, Music Player, Funchat, Instagram, Beer, and many more. Basically, there is no doubt that Chinese apps have some advantages and other foreign and national apps have disadvantages too. They all should have given equal priority. My question, so the apps which got banned have some advantages and the apps which were not banned do also have disadvantages. Then why? Why didn't the government give equal priority to them? They should not be them because most of the terms also were popular in our country at the time when they were used. So these were my views against the ban of Chinese apps. Hope that the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology will look after it. Thank you.
Your Honorable Minister, please.
With the permission of respected Honorable Speaker,
You are permitted.
I would like to conclude that the ban is made to protect India internet and cyber security. Advantages of banned apps. It helps to boost morale. The Indian government has banned Chinese apps in India to protect privacy, personal data. This is because just allow for transfer of personal information to a third party. The ban on Chinese apps in India is not just a way to protect intellectual property, it also fills the gap for local companies and developers. Brings investment. The Indian government recently decided to ban the installation of Chinese apps on India, while the control reason on the reason is that Chinese apps are used for spying and may allow authorities to access personal data. This has resulted in growing Chinese industry boom as companies have ways to create Indian alternatives and setting up their companies in India. The benefit of banning Chinese apps are that the civil safeguard personal sensitive information, increase the competition between companies in the Indian market made it easier for Indians to develop their own apps. Thank you.
Silence, silence.
With the permission of Honorable Speaker, sir,
You are permitted.
I want to say that I am not satisfied with what my opponent said because basically if we see during the COVID pandemic, the most used app by the schools and colleges was the Zoom app through which they continue their online lectures. It is a Chinese app too. Then why didn't the government ban it? There are other apps also like GeoMeet and Google Meet that are good for video conferencing and are also being used in India. Clearly, I want to say that why the government not ban all the Chinese apps? Thank you.
The Honorable Minister, please.
With the permission of Honorable Speaker, sir,
You are permitted.
I would like to inform that Zoom is not in Chinese app, even as the Indian government banned 59 Chinese apps from being used in India.
Including TikTok and Share. Many of the Indians were left wondering if the video calling app Zoom and the messaging app were also banned. Actually, Zoom is not in Chinese origin. Zoom's origin country is USA. The app was reportedly launched in the year 2011. These days, Zoom meetings are considered relatively safe to us. The company appears to have addressed the major security app within the platform and is focused on staying on the top of the latest vulnerability. She also raised questions on the ban of MX Player. So I would like to inform that everyone can use MX Player without any hardship because MX is developed by Fastplayer. It is a video on demand platform developed by MX Media and Entertainment J2 Interactive. She also raised questions on the ban of Dealshare. So I would like to inform that basically Dealshare is a Jaipur and Bangalore-based startup. Dealshare was established in September 2018. Basically, Dealshare is not in China. Thank you.
Question number 9. Solar energy, please.
With the permission of Honorable Speaker, sir,
You are permitted.
I would like to ask a question from the Minister of New and Renewable Energy. Total production of electricity in India is 1,386.05 kilowatt-hour, and then the large part of our country faces a power shortage around 30,000 megawatts. Monthly power consumption of an average household is 220 kilowatts, whenever an average house needs approximately 2.3 kilowatts of solar system. The cost of 2 kilowatt solar power system in India is 1,99,000, which is not economically feasible for middle class. So, my question is, why government not produce solar energy? Even solar energy is cheaper.
Your Honorable Minister, please.
The permission of Honorable Speaker, sir.
You are permitted.
The data given by Bhogya is not correct, as we have 25 solar parks planted in many regions of our country. Major of these parks are Bhadra Solar Park, which is situated in Udaipur, Rajasthan. It is the world's biggest solar park in terms of power generation. The power generated here is approximately 2,555 megawatts. It is planted in 14,000 acres of land. The average money spent in the plant is around 10,000 crores, which is utilized efficiently both in rural and urban areas. Kurnool Ultra Mega Power. It is situated in Kurnool, Andhra Pradesh. The amount of electricity generated here is 1,000 megawatts. It has been set up within 5,932 acres of land. It is set up within 2 years by the Andhra Pradesh Generation Corporation and New and Renewable Energy Development Corporation using Indian rupees 7,143 crores. There is one more operational solar park in nearby district of Kadapa, which would be helpful in raising the state solar capacity by additional 2,700 megawatts. So, by the plantation of 24 solar parks in government, the
Our government is focusing on maximizing the production of electricity and minimizing the cost. Hence, the maximizing of cost would provide the poor and middle class citizens efficient electricity at a sustainable cost.
Silence, silence.
I am not satisfied with this answer. I want to ask another question that after so many efforts by the government, still there are so many people in our community who have their own myths and concerns. So what are the benefits given by the government to use solar energy?
The Honorable Minister, please.
With the permission of Honorable Speaker, sir.
You are permitted.
Our government provides 70% of subsidy on the installation cost of solar photovoltaic power plants. 30% in other regions. This would help the middle class people to install the rooftop solar parks. The solar capacity has been increased from 2,630 megawatts in 2019 to 37,505 megawatts in December 2021, which is increased over 14 times. There are many social and economical benefits. Reduction in manual labor among rural women and girls who collect fuel goods and over long distance and cook in smoking kitchens. A reduction is in the risk of contracting with lung disease. The creation of employment at villages level and ultimately an improvement in the standard of living and creation of economic opportunities at village level. Thank you.
The session gets adjourned on tomorrow. The session gets adjourned on tomorrow.